lovely friends, it's Margaret, and it is time to talk about all of the magical books I will be reading in April. I don't know why there were finger guns there, I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm actually not sorry. I like finger guns. They're fun. Last year, for the Magical Readathon, I was really, super Ravenclaw about it. There was a spreadsheet, there was all this other stuff. This year, I just printed out the prompts and wrote things next to them. You can't see all of it because some of these, the ink is silver. Don't ask me why. It was the closest pen I had. Considering the fact that I have no job at the moment and am stuck at home for the most part, I have a feeling that we're gonna have a good reading month. Possibly. I'm also towards the end of the show that has been obsessing me. So without further ado, I'm just gonna talk about what I'm reading in April because almost all of these are for O.W.L.S prompts. I'm doubling over with another TBR, which you probably should have seen by now. We'll put those books at the end, but yes, let's just get into it, okay? Okay. So the way that the O.W.L.S round of Magical Readathon works is you have 12 subjects, and so you need to finish a book for each subject. I need to finish for sure Ancient Runes, Arithmancy, Defense Against the Dark Arts, History of Magic, and Transfiguration for me to do my chosen career, which is librarian. However, I am me. Therefore, I have a book for all 12 prompts. Yeah, like I said, I'm stuck at home right now, so literally cannot leave my house. Well, I can, but not go far. So Ancient Runes is the first course that I need to finish, and for that, the prompt is Heart Rune, and that is to read a book with a heart on the cover. This was a harder prompt than I thought, because I had, 6 different romance books that I was like, I could read this, and the only book I had that had hearts on the cover, or in the title, because it can be in both, was a book that I'm saving until, June for reasons. Anyways, whole different story, but, I currently do not have access to the library because the library is shut down. Everything is shut down. So all I have are the books that I have already borrowed from the library and the books that are on my physical TBR. Well, not on my bookshelves because some of these are going to be reread. So anyways, I went with a book that I have been wanting to reread, and that is Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. This is about a girl in college. She writes fan fiction. It's the only Rainbow Rowell book I will ever own or read. I loved this the first time I read it, and I want to see if this is still as good as I remember it being. Subject number 2 is Arithmancy, and that is magical qualities of number 2. I'm sure there are math people out there who can tell me what's going on with that, but basically, I just need to read something that is outside of my favorite genre, which is... Anyways, I'm going to be reading One for the Money by Janet Ivanovich. I don't usually read adult. I usually read YA and fantasy, and this is an adult mystery thriller type thing. I don't know. It's part of a whole series. I got this because there was a movie at one point, and I haven't seen the movie yet. I also have not read this book, so I'm going to read this book. The third course is astronomy, and the prompt is night classes, which means basically you need to read a book mostly at night. For that, I have chosen Aurora Rising by Amy Kaufman and Jake Kristoff. This was a gift from my lovely friend Brianna over at Coffee, Books, and Bullet Journals, and I would love to get to this so that I can discuss it with her. I don't even know if she's read it, but basically, I want to read it because I've been excited about it, and I really love the Illuminae files, even if I have not technically finished them. We're not going to get into that. Anyways, I've read most of it. I just forgot to finish it. And I haven't gotten back to it, but I plan on it at some point in my life. So, I have no idea what this is about. All I know is, somebody has been asleep for hundreds of years, or in stasis or whatever, and there's a group of people, ragtag group. He ends up with the misfits and the ones that nobody wants, and I'm like, oh, that sounds really good. And so I want to read it. Alright, from there we are moving on to Care of Magical Creatures, and for that the subject is Hippogriff. We need to read a book with a beak on the cover. I don't have a lot of those. I have 30 books sitting on my library shelf. I have 100 books, over 100 books sitting on my physical TBR, and only one of those books had a creature with a beak on its face, and that was Beyond the Dark and Short by Jessica Leak. This was one of the very first books that I got out of a book box. I don't remember what it's about anymore. I'm not going to explain it because I'm me and I don't actually care. I'm going to read it. I know it was interesting at one point to me, so I don't really need to look in to see what it's about. I just don't. If it's here for a reason, and I don't need to know what that reason is. I say that, and then we're going to get 100 pages in, and I'm going to be like, what the heck is this book about? And go back and reread the synopsis. The next one is Charms, and the prompt for that is Lumos Maxima, and that is to read a book that has a white cover. For that, I'm going to be reading Why I Am No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Renee Edo Lodge. If you have been following me for any amount of time, you would know that I guess I'm what would be called a social justice warrior. I don't consider myself that way. I just consider myself interested in the lives of people who are different than myself and wanting to have some understanding of that. And so I picked this up in the hopes of gleaning information and gleaning understanding from it, because I feel like race is something that white people don't have a good grasp on because we're not affected by it, so we don't really understand how deep the effect on people's lives can be. We don't understand how small the things that can work against a person can be. It's a whole thing. I'm not here to talk about that. It's not my lane, but like, I am trying my best to educate myself, and this is part of that. So moving on from there, the next course is Defense Against the Dark Arts, and the prompt for that is Grindelows, which is to read a book set at the sea coast. I am not 100% sure on Don't Fall. I'm not 100% sure on the setting of this book, but I do remember there being like a boat involved in the... Seriously? That's gonna stay on the floor. I'm not picking it up right now. I am not 100% sure that this actually takes place on the coast, but like in the first couple books, I do remember like there's a boat and there's a sea and there's a coast, and like I remember all of those things being involved in things that are happening. So I'm assuming that The Hand of the Wall by Maureen Johnson takes place by the sea / coast / whatever, and so I'm going to be reading this to fulfill that prompt, because I need to know. I don't even remember what I need to know at this point, but I'm sure I'll remember what it was at the beginning because it's a mystery book and I just need to know what's going on with what's going on. Is this my best TBR ever? No, but you know what? The world is falling apart. This is what you're gonna get. From there, we move on to divination, and the prompt for that is Third Eye, which is to assign a number to your TBR and use a random number generator. So basically, I just put in 1 and a 113, which was the number of books that were on my physical TBR last I counted. I've taken some books off since then. However, the number I came up with was 13, so it really wasn't an issue. Number 13 was Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. I got this as a LitJoy Crate book. I love this cover. It is very pretty. I don't remember all that much about it, except it's about a girl who finds a missing boy in the woods, and like from what I remember, her family is the only, like they're the only people that are supposed to be in those woods or something. There's magic involved. He's lost some memories. He might be involved in a death, possibly. I don't remember. But it looks nice, and it has it. Look at this. Look at this. I just love. Look how pretty under the jacket is. Look at that. Like, Shay Earnshaw gets some really nice books. She really does. I'm actually quite pleased with the ratio of short books to long books that I've got in this TBR, because usually I'm like, I'm gonna read all of these really big chonky books. And by chonky, I mean like 500 pages, because that's a lot for me at this point in my life. Moving on, the next course is Herbology, and that one is Mimbulus Mimbletonia. And you have to read a book where the title starts with M, and then G did say that like if it's a V or an A, that you don't have to count that. So I'm going to be reading The Magic Thief by Sarah Trenius. This has been sitting on my shelf for a very long time. It is a hefty one. However, the text is huge and it has illustrations in it, which makes me so very happy. I have no idea what this is about. I don't know. I got it from a friend because they had it from their bookstore that they worked at. It is an art. I will see if I can find the finished audiobook, because I honestly prefer to read things if they're already out. I would prefer to read this as the finished copy. However, stop falling. This is just not working for me. Hold on. I prefer to read things the finished version if I can. If I can't though, it's got the illustrations. It still looks nice. Oh, look at that. They actually went in and they like did stuff to the pages, so it looks like it's a real book that's been damaged. I love this. This is amazing. Ooh, what a package. The next course is History of Magic, and the prompt for that is Witch Hunts, which means you need to read a book that involves witches or wizards. I'm going to be reading The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. This was another gift from my lovely friend Christine, and I cannot wait to see what this is about. This is a retelling of the King Arthur mythology from Guinevere's point of view, but Guinevere is a changeling from what I understand. But we all know that in the King Arthur mythology, you have Merlin, and Merlin is a wizard. Therefore, it fits the prompt. The next course is Muggle Studies, and for that you need to read a book from the perspective of a Muggle, aka a contemporary book. I am going to be reading The Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney. I don't even remember how I got this. I think I might have actually gotten this from the same friend that I got The Magic Thief from, because she was getting rid of a whole bunch of books, and I was like, I've heard of this, I should read it. I used to love these books when I was a kid, because it's the type where it's like, it looks like it's handwriting, and they're drawing like little things that happened through the day. I'm actually kind of excited about reading this. The next course is Potions. The prompt for that is Shrinking Solution, which is to read a book with less than 150 pages. This book has 90 pages, and that is Binti by Nidhi Okorafor. I grabbed this for February, never got around to it, but it is nice, it is thin, I have it until May 1st, so I figured, why not read some of these library books that have been sitting on my shelf since February, because I'm a terrible reader. I'm just awful when it comes to getting library books, because I check out a whole bunch of them and then I read maybe 5. It's a failing, I know. The final course I will be taking for my owls is Transfiguration, and the prompt for that is Anna Mega's lecture to read a book with a shapeshifter, to read a book with, can't talk, to read a book with a shapeshifter involved. I'm going to be reading The Hammer of Thor by Rick Riordan. This I have to read very soon, like in the next week soon, because our live show for Demigods Anonymous is next Saturday. So by the time that you've seen me, I should be like halfway through this, because otherwise I will not have finished it. And I didn't finish it the first time because I'm awful about reading things and putting them down and getting distracted. I think I got it like 100 pages in. Anyways, I need to read this for a live show that we are doing. This is about Magnus Chase. He is a homeless kid in Boston in the first book, and then he gets killed and sent to Valhalla and finds out that his father is a Norse god. It's basically Percy Jackson, but with Norse mythology and more death. Anyways, I need to get rid of the sticker on this book and read it so that I am not a terrible co-host and spoiled for the book, because I don't like this is one of the ones that I'd rather not be spoiled. Normally I don't care about spoilers, but in this case I kind of do. So there's that. Also, I need to read The Girl with the Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier, A Flame in the Mist by Renee Adia, The Tiger at Midnight by Svati Tirtala, and Shadow of the Sky by Rebecca Kimwell. Let me know down in the comments if you are participating in the Owls, what you're reading for that, what you're reading in April. Talk to me about books down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button and check out some of the other videos that are going to be right over here. That is it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye!